Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we will be starting a new series of questions related to the topic arrays. And our first question will be a hard one, the lead code 128. Let's dive into the question. The question says, given an unsorted array, find the length of the longest consecutive elements sequence. And it also says that it should run in big O of n time complexity. So let's see the examples. So before moving ahead, I would like to recommend everyone to have this book, Cracking the Coding Interview. It has 189 standard programming interview questions and solutions. It's a book written by Gail Lackman. So yeah, this book is available anywhere on the internet. You can have a PDF and ebook, but I would suggest you to buy this hard copy so you can solve and read directly from it. And while reading from a book, from a physical book, it's much more interesting. And if you are not that type of student who is into reading books or stuff, then you can definitely follow the videos that I'll be uploading on this channel, because I'll be covering most of the questions from this book. So without a further ado, let's move ahead. So let's see, what does this mean actually. So we are given an unsorted array and the output here is 4. How? So when we pick any number of digits, or let's say any number of numbers from the given array, even if they are unsorted, and after we pick them, if they are in a consecutive manner, so here we pick 1, we pick 2, we pick 3, we pick 4. It can be any number, if we pick those elements and we find that out of all the numbers, if we pick out random numbers and we get a sequence out of all the sequence, the longest sequence that we achieve from the given unsorted array would be our resultant array. Or we can now say that this is the resultant array whose length we have to return in order to get the answer. So whenever we solve these type of question, it is always advised to first come up with a solution that is the easiest one, or that comes to the mind first, and then code your way through that solution and ultimately reach the most optimized one. So now let's first look at the solution that is the most easiest one. So let's suppose this is our input array. What we have to do is we have to just sort it by any algorithm that will take most probably the n log n time complexity in most of the cases. So when we sort it, this will look something like this: 1 2 3 4 100 200. The sequence will be left as it is and the unsorted ones will be left as it is. So how to check this? It's very simple. We just have to maintain pointers, right? Keep one pointer at one element, then move ahead and check if the consecutive element in that particular array is actually the one that should come after it. How do we check that? It's simple. If the difference between both of them is 1, then most probably it will be a consecutive element. We have to check for all such type of sequences, and out of these, whichever is the largest one or the longest one will be our answer, and we can just return that sequence's length to be our answer, and here it is 4. So the sorting algorithm will take n log n, as I said earlier, and in the worst case we have to traverse the whole array after sorting, so it will be n plus n. So now that we know that this type of solution will take a big of n log n time complexity, and we know that in the question statement it was already written as we have to solve the question using an algorithm that covers up in big O of n time complexity. So what do we do? What do we do to optimize it from this to this? So in the best possible solution, or the most optimized solution, what we are going to do is we are going to use a hash set. What is a hash set? It implements the set interface. You have to get some prior knowledge of collections framework in Java to code out the solution of this particular question in the most optimized manner possible. So in the hash set solution, what we are going to do is we will first create a hash set and then put each element of the array into that hash set. Basically, this will create a space complexity of big O of n, but that is manageable. We have to use an algorithm that uses time complexity of big O of n, right? So in this we have to do some space and time trade-off. So we used a O of n space complexity. So how do we approach this question? We will first uh, target the first element inside the array and check whether the numerical predecessor of that particular element exists inside the hash set. The predecessor of 100 should be 99. Does 99 exist inside the hash set? No, it doesn't. So when this condition does not satisfy, we have to check whether the successor of that particular number exists inside the hash set. So what is the successor? It's 101. Does 101 exist inside the hash set? No, it doesn't. So we will simply now move our target element to the next one inside the array. So what's the element inside the array? It's 4. So 4 predecessor is 3. 4's predecessor is 3. Does 3 exist inside the hash set? Yes, it does. Remember this thing. If this condition becomes true, we don't have to check anything. We don't have to check whether there is a successor to that element as well or not. We knew that we have a predecessor, numerical predecessor to that particular element inside this hash set. So we will just move on to the next element. We will only check the successors if the predecessor condition goes wrong. So now we will check for 200. So what's the predecessor for 200? It's 199. Does 199 exist? No, it doesn't. So we will check for the successor, 201. Does 201 exist? No, it doesn't. So we will move our target to the next one. For 3, the predecessor is 2. 2 exists. So we will not do anything and we will move ahead. For 2, the predecessor is 1. It exists. We will not do anything and move our target ahead. When we reach 1, we check whether the predecessor exists. No, 0 doesn't exist inside the hash set. So now since the condition has gone false, we will check for the successors. Does the successor exist? Yes, 2 exists. So keep in mind, when you are counting the successor, when you are checking whether the successors exist or not, keep a count of the successors. Yes, 2 exists. So now the count has become 1. Since 2 exists, now put a condition whether the successor of the successor exists or not. So if 2 exists, now check for the condition if 2's successor exists or not. Yes, 3 exists. So now the count, since at 1 it was 1, but now it has become 2. At 2 it became 2. Now at 3 it became 3. 3's successor exists or not? Yes, it exists. 4 exists inside the hash set. So now the count has become 4. Now we know that the longest sequence's length is 4. And since the array is already over, we traverse it in O of n time complexity. Since we traverse the array only once from the head to the tail, we knew that the time complexity it took was big O of n. And what we got as the answer? 4. 4 is the length of the longest sequence that we found. Why this approach works? It works because we are basically targeting the smallest element of the answer sequence. The smallest element here was 1. We targeted the smallest one because we wanted to move ahead from that element. We wanted to move ahead towards the successors of that element. Imagine if we just traversed back and forth twice for each element, that would take much more time complexity than this one. So this is the particular solution that will get accepted as the fastest one and the most optimized one whenever you are solving it on an online judge or an interview. Now let's look at the Java code. Now let's understand what this Java code actually does. So we are given with an input array of nums. We create a hash set, and then with this for loop we put all the elements of nums into that hash set. Then we initialize a variable longest sequence and initialize its value to be 0. Then we traverse the whole nums array again and check whether the predecessor of that particular number inside that array exists or not. If this condition doesn't satisfy, remember, if we don't find the predecessor, we have to check whether it has a success or not. Now that if this condition satisfies yes, then we will initialize variable current number is equal to that number that we are now handling from the nums array. Then we will initialize a current sequence to be 1. Then we will run a while loop and check whether the successors exist or not. Remember that when we did not find the predecessor, we will run for the successors. Now this loop will run until the successors list does not end. The current num will keep on increasing because we will be finding 1 or 2 or 3 consecutive successors, and hence the current sequence will also keep on increasing. Now the longest sequence will be the maximum of the longest sequence that was previously initialized and the current sequence that we have here. It will compare both of them and will store the one which is the maximum inside the longest sequence. After this whole for loop is over, now the control will get out of the loop and return the longest sequence, and hence we will get our answer. So this was the total solution of the hard LeetCode question 128. So see you in the next video. Until then, keep learning, keep sharing.